up? This is Derek from State Champs. We're based out of upstate New York. We're a pop punk band, but we're excited to finally be getting back to Australia here in the upcoming months. We're going to be out with the Maine and Hot Milk, and it's been a while. So thank God we're finally coming back. It's one of our favorite countries to tour in.
Beautiful, Derek. Thanks for joining us today, buddy.
Thank you, man.
All right, so State Champs kick off your Aussie tour on September the 1st in Brisbane before heading to Melbourne, Sydney and Adelaide, and then finishing up in Perth on September the 8th. So what can fans over here expect from the run of shows?
Well, it's crazy because the last time we were in Australia, it was only for a fly-in, fly-out for one small festival. Well, one big festival, Unify, was the last one that we did. And it was a bit of a tease because we love seeing all the different cities and getting to play for a longer set. That's what we're used to, and that's what we're good at. So finally, we're coming back. The pandemic put us on hold for a while with being able to come back. So I appreciate everybody's patience, especially the fans that have been dying to see us again. So they're finally get their chance to see the full State Champ show coming back, and we're ready, especially coming off of this new album that we just put out. So we're ready to play all the new stuff.
Oh yeah. And have you actually done much touring since the pandemic eased up?
Well, right now we're out on the Sad Summer Festival tour throughout the US. And right when we put this new album out in May, we were out in Europe and the UK. So we're definitely back to the grind, and it feels good to finally be playing shows and seeing everybody going crazy in person without masks on anymore. It's great.
Yeah, have you found, like, from a touring perspective, is there much different?
I mean, I thought it would be, honestly, but honestly, I think the kids have been way more excited about live music even now than since before the pandemic. You know, I think everyone's appreciating the fact that we get to do this and that we get to go to concerts and be around other people, just because I think the how fragile things are, and knowing that things can just go away like that at the snap of a finger, we don't know what's going to happen. So I think people are definitely grateful and appreciative of being able to go to these big events and see live music and your favorite bands while you still can, you know. So, but look, hopefully it's here to stay.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, right.
And you mentioned before that you bring in the Maine and Hot Milk over with you. So what's so special about them? What are you bringing them halfway around the world for?
The Maine, we've known for a long time, and I actually listened to them growing up. So it's pretty cool to kind of be on a co-headline tour with them. And we've done like Warped Tour in the States with them. We've done this Sad Summer Festival. We've even done like Southeast Asia together. So we know how each other work. We've been friends for a minute. And so that's going to be fun. Hot Milk is a new band on the scene that we're actually pretty excited about. And they're on tour with us right now, opening this Sad Summer Festival out in the US. So it's pretty exciting for them. And they have not been to Australia before. They've been asking us about it, how we feel about it, about the fans, and like, do we have any recommendations? What are we going to do for fun out there? So we're excited to show them the ways of the Aussie, if you will.
Very cool. And then you're going to be adding Melbourne outfit Paperweight when you join this country. So what do you know about them?
I'm excited to hear them and hang with them. You know, I don't know too much, to be fair. So they were recommended to us via our team and some other friends and peers and bands. So I'm excited to see what they got, man. And I'm ready to learn.
Very cool. And you mentioned before that you're touring on the back of your new album, Kings of the New Age, that came out back in May. So how's the reception been for that one?
It's been great. You know, it's our first album in almost 3-4 years. So our fans have definitely been patient with us through the pandemic and whatnot. But it was great that we got to take our time through the pandemic, and there were no deadlines. So we wrote so many songs and found the right ones and the right message for this album. And the reception's been awesome. You know, it's crazy because now that we have 4 albums, it's hard to pick a set list of what songs from each album. We never thought we'd have to deal with that problem, and we didn't think that we'd be still doing this, you know, 10 plus years into our career. But it's an exciting thing, and people seem to want to hear more of the new songs than the old songs even. So I guess we did something right.
That's very rare, mate. You've definitely done something right. Yeah. And how are you going to play the new songs live? Like, I know a lot of times when bands are making albums, like, they try like to road test the new songs before recording them, but you wouldn't have had that luxury. So now you're sort of playing them a bit backwards. How are they going down?
It's actually been great. You know, we did tease some of the new stuff and play it live, like when we were in Europe before the album was out. And even then, like, you know, kids were latching on and figuring out the words to the songs, hearing it for the first time live and singing it back by the last chorus. So that was something that got us really excited about releasing it to the world. And, you know, we used to have a one mainstay song that we would always play last, and that was our old song Secrets from our second album. And now the biggest song on Kings of the New Age, our new album, is Everybody But You, the single that we put out like as the second single, I believe. And that one has now taken the place of our biggest and, you know, best recepted live song with the crowd. So it's cool to be finally like, to have a new like big banger hit, if you will.
Oh, that's cool. And as you said, man, like that was your fourth album. So do you find making albums and the whole process is getting easier as you go along?
In ways, I think it's easier. In ways, I think it can be a little bit more pressured, if you will. But the thing that we tried to do going into this album was to not take ourselves too seriously and remember what got us here in the first place and why we like making music and what makes us, you know, happy about doing this still 10 plus years into it. So on our second and third album, I think we had to outdo the first and the second one. So there was a little bit of pressure there. But now that people care, we just kind of like go back to our roots and be like, what do we like about our band? What do we want to hear from ourselves? And let's make an album that we want to put on repeat in our own headphones. And that's what we did. And it relayed to the fans in the same way. So it's been pretty cool. It's been exciting.
And State Champs actually started out playing in bedrooms and basements back in 2010, mate. So looking back, what was the musical climate like that gave birth to the band back then? And where did you guys fit in?
It's crazy. We come from a small, you know, like almost like metal and hardcore scene in upstate New York, where we're from. Myself and Tyler, who started the band, we used to be in like local metal and hardcore bands when we were in our early teen years. And then we decided to just start playing pop punk, and we took it to basement shows. We took it to small punk underground shitty venues. And it's just cool to have, you know, grown from that into the bigger venues in our hometown, opening for our favorite bands, and then eventually being on tour with some of those bands. So it's been a cool like cycle and story for the band, and, you know, growing to where we're at. And now to shine some light on the younger, exciting bands from our hometown that are trying to get to a place that we're at now is exciting. It's like a little family tree and family cycle from our hometown scene, if you will. So it's nice.
That's awesome. And then can you recall like the moment or the period where you thought that maybe you might be onto something and you might be finally starting to get out of the basement scene?
I think, well, we used to send so many demos and like singles or ideas of songs that we were writing to like all these record labels and whatnot. And we never heard back from any of them. And the only one that would like, you know, ever take some attention towards it or reply to us was Pure Noise Records. And that's our label that we're still with today. So I remember when we sent them our demo for a song called Critical, that is a single that's on our first album. It was just the idea of the song and a demo of it that we sent to them. And the moment that they replied, it was maybe like 5 minutes after we sent them that. And it was the owner of the label, Jake. He was like, "Hey man, what's your phone number? Can we get it on a phone call right now?" Wow. And that was kind of a light bulb moment for us. Like, okay, maybe we have something here. We got on the phone, and it was maybe within the next like 2-3 weeks or so that we were signing a contract under Pure Noise Records, and we were going to make our first album the next year. So I think that was a big stepping stone for us to be like, wow, maybe we could do this for longer than we thought. And it's not just a pipe dream, you know. It was exciting.
So now 12 years on, mate, from when you guys have started, like how was your vision, I guess, and your approach to music changed?
I think we learn a lot every time we do something, whether that's like being in the studio during a recording process, or we play a big festival, or we go on a tour as an opener, or if we do a headline tour. There's always things to learn, and there's always like goals to set every time. But talking about making music, I think you know, we like to we work with certain amount of people. We work with like collaborators, different songwriters, different producers. But I think it's important to kind of just like always start bare bones with the four of us in the band, and like, you know, just kind of like jam in a room. That's one thing that we always at least start with a recording process and a writing process. It's like, remember, we are a band. So it's like, let's just get in a room and jam and see what we can come up with. And that's something that we'll always start with moving forward with all of our writing process. Let's just jam like we did in the basement and in our bedrooms, like when we first started, and then go from there and then build on that. Whether we want to bring other collaborators in, work with other songwriters, other producers, let's make sure that it starts organically with the four of us each time. And that's been the kind of like the groundwork for us, if you will.
All right, Derek. Well, thanks for your time today, mate. It's been a pleasure speaking with you. State Champs are out in Australia from September the 1st, so check them out.
Thanks a lot, man. We'll see everybody out there.
All right, bro. Enjoy your day off.
Thanks a lot, man. Take care.
Ciao.
I just saw the way she was looking at you, and I saw the way you were looking at her, and I just...
Babe, you know I love my iced mochas. How many times do I have to tell you this? She's a barista. She was just doing her job.
Well, she definitely thought you were cute or whatever. Anyway, what about last week when you got me that cheap little plastic necklace for our anniversary? You know I like the finer things.
I can't even do this anymore. All you ever do is complain. It's like nothing's ever good enough.
Wait, you're breaking up with me?
I'll catch you later. Fuck.
Enough is enough. What the fuck was I thinking? 'Cause being with you's like working on the weekend. So turn the music up louder. Tell everybody come through. 'Cause I'm having a party. Invited everybody but you. Trying, but nothing's good enough. I guess we're out of touch. Well, you're one-sided. Well, yeah, that's good to know. Wish I knew 3 years ago. Break my back when you asked. I'm still last in line. Screaming match every night, every night. Enough is enough. What the fuck was I thinking? 'Cause being with you's like working on the weekend. So turn the music up louder. Tell everybody come through. 'Cause I'm having a party. Invited everybody but you. Everybody but you. Frustrated. Then you said, let's take a walk. Can we go somewhere to talk? Now I've translated the shit that comes out your mouth. Now I know without a doubt. I'm so sick of this. Enough is enough. What the fuck was I thinking? 'Cause being with you's like working on the weekend. So turn the music up louder. Tell everybody come through. 'Cause I'm having a party. Invited everybody but you. Everybody but you. Everybody but you. Everybody but you. Chilling if they got together. Said it wouldn't last forever or whatever. Here's the best bad news. Kelly said she didn't even really like you. And midnight rolls on. Getting kinda dizzy and I think I seen a vision of you screaming at me. Can't shake you off. Girl, you really got to me. At the party singing part of me. Break my back.